Right, I think we are live. Welcome to the program. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Today is February.
May.
Okay, there's a voodoo. There's a voodoo that against me on when it comes to dates. Today is. I'm looking at it. So today is May
Mhm.
the 18th of
Yes.
2024. What's up with February anyway?
No,
So
no. Said it's the last month.
today is May the 18th of 2024. Welcome to the program. We are presenting today the part two of what we did last week, which is um, um,
The
who
enemies of
who
the
are
people.
the enemies of the people? Who are the enemies of the people? So we will have to take off quickly so that we can get to all the videos. Is definitely loaded. Is something that you do want to get other people involved. Please send them the link. Share. You can share now. You can share later. You can bring your homeboys, home association girls, and give them some information, some important information for us to be able to move forward in what we're doing. I'm a woman at Saga, and I am a mother of four Igbo children, and I live in Houston, Texas.
Yes. So my name is AP. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Yes, please continue to help us to share. And those that have subscribed, thank you so much. And those that are following, we appreciate you. We see it through the week, people sharing and spreading. And the message is going around because it's about taking over the conversation so that everybody will start talking about 1999 Constitution. Stop any other thing you're doing. We need to release ourselves from this evil book of Lucifer. Colonization document. It needs to go down, just like the Francophone people are doing. That's the first thing we need to do before we now start any other thing. So we appreciate your work and how the information is coming up, and everybody discussing it. People are discussing the things they didn't want to discuss before. We brought it to the table. So you're part of it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So I will start off with the first video today, which is in line with our topic. So give me a few minutes. So as we are watching this video, remember we're supposed to be sharing as well.
Yes.
So we are looking for you to multitask,
Yes, please.
and
Please.
it's doable.
Yep, you can do it.
Is a very pleasant place to live and indeed educate their children.
The Russian oligarchs have been investing in London for decades now. In recent years, more people have followed this Russian model. Andrew Mitchell is UK's Deputy Foreign Secretary. He claims nearly 40% of the world's black money is being cleaned by London. Mitchell revealed this cash is often stolen from developing countries and regions like Africa, often by corrupt businessmen, politicians, and warlords. They funnel this cash into London from tax havens like British Virgin and Cayman Islands. So when it reaches a British bank account, the money appears squeaky clean.
Wow.
Till 2022, more than $125 billion worth of questionable money was coming to the UK every year.
Hmm.
At one point, the government was even rewarding these questionable investors with golden visas. That scheme has been abolished now. The British government has tried to make changes and turn off the dirty money tap. But London has failed to make any substantial progress. The checks and balances in the current form lack teeth, and in some cases, the UK has given refuge to not.
So today's the day. I've got my RTA mock system and Coyote
No, you did not
appliances.
appear on our show with your ugly self. You did not. Get out of
Just the
here, man.
black money, but also to the individuals who embezzle it. Case in point, Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi, two prominent Indian businessmen accused of stealing money from India to the tune of millions of dollars. New Delhi has declared both Mallya and Modi fugitive economic offenders. India has been pursuing their extradition for years now. So far, there hasn't been much headway in either case.
Of course, there will not be any headways because they are taking the money where they're supposed to take it. It was set up that way so they can easily transfer it to the Cayman Island, like you said, bring it back, wash it up, and then what is it called? Money laundering. They will launder the money and wash it clean, and then it will come over to London, the land of embezzlement. The land of embezzlement. Please excuse my mishap this morning. Our mother, our sister, Mrs. Otumba's burial is this week, and we wanted to observe a moment of silence for her.
Yeah.
It's really important. This lady fought tooth and nail for Nina's, for what you're seeing, the work that has been done, to know that we have a mother that will not sell us out because of hunger, because of hardship. She remains steadfast throughout the whole time.
Yes.
So we are going to give her a moment of silence again.
And even when some politicians bribed some people from her region to come and scatter what was going on, she stood up like a strong Yoruba woman that she is. She stood up and said, no. So we know why we're celebrating this woman. And we will continue to celebrate her even after all the nations are restored. Her name will be indelible. Her name will be written. When you mention people like Fumi Elayo Kuti, the people that fought for first independence, she will be mentioned because she fought hard and she continued to fight. So we'll talk more eventually when we finish what we're doing. And then, thank you, please. Go ahead.
Awesome. So the minute starts now. Awesome. May her soul rest in perfect peace.
He say.
All right, so moving right along, we'll play our next video. Please continue to help us to share.
Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination has warned that any attempt to conduct the 2023 general elections using the 1999 Constitution may truncate Nigeria's peace and lead the country to a failed state. Co-convener of the group, Yusuf Turaki, who made this known during a press briefing in Lagos, warned that there are little chances of a better Nigeria under the current unitary constitutional order. The group further reiterated that failure to heed these warnings may lead to grave consequences for the country.
Let us remind ourselves that everything was currently lament in Nigeria flows from the 1999 Unitary Constitution, whether it is the killing going on everywhere in Nigeria, the general insecurity, the seizure of all economic access, including oil and gas, the ports and other maritime assets, solid minerals, including gold, the monumental corruption. Nothing will get better in Nigeria under the unitary constitutional order, no matter who gets to power. From the foregoing, it is clear that whoever genuinely seeks to extinguish the source of the wars and miseries of Nigeria and Nigerians must find a way to break this set cycle of periodic renewal of the life of the 1999 Constitution by way of elections. It is obvious that the action to be taken to end our bondage and misery is to shut down the voyage to any further national elections under the 1999 Constitution, which merely renews our bondage.
We are running into trouble. We are inching there, and time is not in our favor. And I'm not tickled by what the National Assembly is doing. They are not being fair to themselves. They are not being fair to us. They claim to be amending the Constitution. What are they amending? And I want to repeat it. Do you amend something that is not amendable? When you want to amend the Constitution, by the way, Lati, where do you start? You start from the preamble. We the people. Oh, yes, they have to amend it. Why are they running away from it? If they cannot amend the preamble, if the preamble is not amendable, then it means the Constitution is not amendable. Come on. They have to start from it. Do you start reading your letter from the back page? Do you? No. No, they have to start from the preamble. That means the preamble is fake. We the people, who are the we? When did we meet? And why can't we do it? I'm studying the constitutions of the world. And I say this also with every sense of humility. There's no constitution that is near as fake, near as deceitful, near as make-believe in nature and in content as the Constitution, as what we call the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. What are they amending? I challenge them, and I challenge the National Assembly, and they must answer this question. When you are amending, you first of all start from the preamble. Because if the people didn't meet and they put it there by the respected or by the Abdul Salam military government, they say, we the people. You must first amend it.
If they're going to amend it, what should it say?
I wouldn't know. If they can't amend it, if they cannot amend, then let us have a constitution for ourselves.
Dare to tell this nation today that this is the problem. This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items. 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. The formal name of this republic is Federal Republic of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't run a federalist system in Nigeria. Otherwise, what is so unique about all those things that are in the exclusive list? In this chamber, we try to federalize the police system. In this chamber, we failed. Every crime is local. And the solution to every crime is local. The earlier that senators in Nigeria Someone had the courage to say, we should not continue to deceive ourselves.
49 people elected, selected to write a constitution, wrote a constitution. 40 people in the Supreme Military Council promulgated a constitution for us. Under General Abubakar, government in which I served, I was in executive council. I never saw the draft constitution. And I was Minister of Information. It was my responsibility to publicize it to the country. On the day of swearing in of Obasanjo, we didn't have a copy of the constitution. I didn't know who was printing it. And my ministry was supposed to pay for the printing. And Obasanjo was sworn on a constitution that had not been read by anybody. And the National Assembly could not be constituted until 4 days after he swearing it, because there was no clean copy of the constitution. You cannot build on quicksand. And the country cannot live on falsehood.
That the constitution that we have at present is a fraud. It is a fraud because it starts with we the people, when in fact you and I did not sit anywhere to design this constitution. By that fact alone, it is based on a lie and it is based on a fraud. In the past, people could ignore that because Olusegun Obasanjo was a fair-minded man and he was a patriot.
No, he wasn't. Stop lying.
Umaru Yar'Adua of blessed memory was a fair-minded man and a patriot. Because Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was a fair-minded man and he was a patriot. So people could afford to live with a fraudulent constitution. But now today we are seeing that the fraudulent constitution in the hands of people who have hidden agendas, who hate our country, who are beholden to Niger, Mali, Chad, and other foreign countries. They have nothing to offer us. Therefore, on that basis, we must reject the evil that we are seeing, and we must demand for re-engineering of our federation.
So what are our shared core values? If you ask the Americans, they talk of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We don't have one. And it is when we begin to identify our shared core values that we begin to build a nation. What we have right now is a state held together at gunpoint. And when the state begins to oppress the citizen, there'll be cries of marginalization, there'll be secessionist and separatist agitation, there'll be insecurity. Now we have set up Nigeria to be a place where the state is more powerful than the citizen, and the state is oppressive. We need to retrace our steps. Quite often, Nigerians ask, which is the way forward? And I say, if you are moving in the wrong direction, you shouldn't be going forward. You should make a U-turn.
God help us.
Yep. If you're moving in the wrong direction, you shouldn't be moving forward. You should make a U-turn. That's common sense. Common sense. But we have seen that common sense is not too common, which is why we come here every Saturday, so that our people will get the information they need, because we know that when they get the right information, they will do the right thing against the people that are working towards their damnation. Please continue to help us to share, like, and subscribe. This work is moving on. They cannot escape it.
They are really trying so hard. All right, so we are going to talk about today the enemies of the people. Let's see. As you guys can recall, we had the video last week, and we stopped in the middle because we thought that this the comments that our brother is making is quite important for us to pay close attention. So I am going to pull up the video for the day, and we're going to play in between. So listen carefully, listen attentively. because he's making some points that your church leaders will never tell you, so that we can stop fighting each other and identify who the true enemies are, and not each other. Somebody is benefiting while we're fighting each other. Somebody is living their best lives, making money, sending it to Cayman Island, transferring it to London, sending their children to school in the best area, while you and I fight each other. So we will continue this video today, because knowledge is power, right? If we know who is doing us, we know how to gather ourselves together and deal with the person.
Yes, my sister pulled up the video. We'll give you a recap of our introduction last week. We told you that according to Kofi Annan, a genocide begins with the killing of one man or one woman, not for what he has done, but because of who he or she is. That's a genocide. And we know what we're dealing with in Africa. We know how people are committing genocide every day, everywhere, because of the resources in the land. We have Biafra genocide, they don't want to discuss, but they will discuss it eventually. So May is a very special month for us, because we remember the massacre of the people of Biafra, and even the people they called Niger Delta, because their own massacre also happened years before the other massacre. So all the time they keep killing people everywhere. So these generals captured our women, distributed our women among themselves. Growing up, wonder, how is it that all these generals, Army General class of 66, all married to Igbo girls? We didn't know it was looted, it was booty from war. So they finished the war, put the Victory Charter, which is the 1999 Constitution, on everybody, through which they passed policies and are still passing policies to take away the resources of the people. Took their women, distributed among themselves, shared in the north, shared among themselves. And have Nigerians learned any lesson? No, unfortunately, they are still watching this systematic destruction of other indigenous peoples going on, moving them to IDP camps, renaming their villages and their towns, and people are inside church praying. No, that cannot continue. So who are the enemies of the people? These are the enemies of the people, and the people must know their enemies so that we begin to be part of this advocacy and enlightenment that we're doing. You will be carrying the news and going to spread it to everywhere, because we need to upturn this falsehood and mechanism of self-hate manufactured in Britain against the indigenous ethnic nationalities. So you are part of it. You are from this land, and you should be carrying this. You should not be doing any other thing on social media. You should not be dancing. You should not be bringing your private parts on social media when your life is in danger. You are about to be annihilated. So you must be part of this campaign. We need to renegotiate this union of the devil. Thank you. I'll allow my sister to play.
You see lawyers who jump all over the place, trying to pretend that there's something that is the entitlement of the citizen. Nobody is citizens. Slaves are not citizens. Under this constitution, that your sovereignty is taken, all your economic assets taken, and the exclusive lists that make it impossible for you to even partake in any way. With something, a blanket immunity that goes from section 6, section 6D, the one that says everything they did from the 15th of January in 1966 to the 29th of May in 1999. That's 33 whole years. During which period, all the decrees that became constitution in 1979 were instituted. All the things they did to rot this evil were done in those 33 years. The oil and gas assets of the Niger Delta, it was in that period that they took those things and awarded to themselves as oil blocks. It was in that period that they created all these states. It was in that period they had to kill this number of people that we're still discussing today. The ones who killed Hiroshi, the ones who killed the 3.5 million people in the East, the ones that starved 2 million plus children to death. By this same thing, they are reminding us, like the synopsis told us. If anybody will remember the story in the Bible about the siege on Samaria by Syria. These people that are on a conquest mission, they are weakening us from several fronts. But when you now drag it all the way down to food, then you can be sure that that weakening also targets extermination. And our people are still sleeping, knowing that people are orchestrating these things. It wasn't overnight that our farmers, they didn't just become lazy and stop farming. It was because farming was rendered very dangerous. You went to farm, you were not sure you come back. Meanwhile, they had equipped their own, you know,
people.
They had done all the irrigations with our money.
Resources.
I don't know who and who has irrigation in their own parts in these alliance territories. All the irrigations in the name of having less number of rivers and bodies of water. They had always look at the list of those who have been ministers for agriculture from the last across the last 50 years. Look at the list of those who have been ministers for water resources across the last 50 years. So they control fertilizer because they will never allow anybody. Those are some of the portfolios that they don't share with anybody. And so you see the river basin authorities, these are all the things they instituted from the days of the military, even into the civilian era. Check, even when Obasanjo came, even when, because they will not, because they control the back end of everything that will happen. All those who stand in front, Obasanjo president, Jonathan president, Tinubu president. The matters are deeper than Peter Obi that is hoping to come in, that doesn't understand the head and tail of anything, citing statistics of Bangladesh. So I'm touching on all of this to let us know that we have a clear understanding of the hidden mechanisms by which they have managed to hold our people down for this length of time. We had it was part of our strategy not to shout about those things until we hit the major target, which is the constitution into which they domiciled all those control mechanisms, all those confiscating mechanisms, all those enshackling mechanisms, all those expropriating mechanisms. Most unfortunately for them, they put our signature at the base of the document in that preamble to say that we, the people, having firmly and solemnly resolved to live together, do hereby make and give unto ourselves the following constitution. So all of what they got from before 1914, because we were already tied up. We were already tied up before 1914. 1914 was when they handed us over, they annexed us, they annexed southern Nigeria to northern Nigeria, back to Harcourt. When Harcourt was asked in that telegram, he says, we have freed the, that is explaining that they have, they're about to betroth. You know how you take a child and hand over to an older person to say, this girl will be your wife from the time the girl may be 5 years or any, or less or more, but less than the age of marriage. And then you hand the child over in betrothal to an adult male. Let me read from that telegram of 1913. I quote, that is
Lord Harcourt, the one after whom, the criminal after whom Port Harcourt is named. He says, we have released northern Nigeria from the leading strings of the treasury. The promising and well-conducted youth is now on an allowance of his own and is about to effect an alliance with a southern lady of means. I have issued the special license, and Sir Frederick Lugard will perform the ceremony. May the union be fruitful and the couple constant. End of quote. Secretary of the colonies, Harcourt, who is the boss of Frederick Lugard, referring to the import and purport of the annexation of the then Protectorate of Southern Nigeria to then Protectorate of Northern Nigeria, cablegram of 31st December 1913, just the day before it was announced, the amalgamation was announced on the 1st of January of 1914. The reason I'm reading this is to 1914 to 2024 is 110 years already. It was in celebration of, so we can understand how we got into this and how the enemy had managed to keep us where they wanted us in that joint venture with the British, in which the British is leading the caliphate. I will still come down to the mask of the alliance of 1967 by which that caliphate has been able to sustain the last 55 years of this bondage. We are touching on all of this so that our people can understand our disposition. The reason we're going to be very hard on our own people, it is our own people that made it possible for them to keep us this long.
Yes. Yes.
It is our own people who decided to go to make profit for themselves that didn't mind what all the other everybody else was doing to try to liberate the entire community. That is how so that alliance of 1967 was the reinforcement of that caliphate, bringing in renegade elements from the Yoruba flank, from the coastal east, and even from the core, from the South Igbo of the core of the east, the Dotun Seko. They always have renegade elements. The Benjamin Kalu that wants to go and write new constitution today, George Kalu that have been with them in every wearing turban, the Rochas Okorocha that have been with them, and several others. The one that wrote the 1976 draft for them that became constitution. The Olusegun that is guiding them today. Without all these people, they wouldn't have gotten this far. The Obasanjo that overruled even the Constituent Assembly by the 17 amendments he announced to the finished work of the Constituent Assembly. Shame on the media in Nigeria that continues to parade their ignorance. I'm sure some of us, is there anybody present in this meeting who saw the interview on Channel TV of Victor Atta with the crew of, I can't remember their names now, the lady Mogbe and the other fellow. They were talking of this 1979 constitution as something that was done by the people, and that the government took time to get a discussion going in 1999 when they set up Nikki Toby Kopdewa, telling the story of how most people insisted that they will go back to 1979, which the government then did. What is wrong with that? Is it not a Constituent Assembly that did all of what was done in 1979? That's what journalists that went to school, that have been listening to what we have been saying across the last 24 years, are saying inside March of 2024 on national television. Whereas we know for certain that the 1977 Constituent Assembly, the one person that wrote the draft for Murtala Mohammed at the invitation of Rotimi Williams, you can see who and who. Rotimi Williams is commissioned by Murtala Mohammed on behalf of the Caliphate. He instructed, semi-literate he is. So that instruction, I have it on good authority, and I can actually name That instruction of what Murtala Mohammed handed over to Rotimi Williams came from England, came from the British end. Oh, we have won this war. You have to retain everything for yourself. Nobody, you can't share with anybody, so that we can have absolute control. Murtala Mohammed hands it over to Rotimi Williams. Rotimi Williams goes round, ends up with this university teacher called Ben Wabeze. And between them, they now made it even more watertight than the people intended. That's the confession, and that's the confession that Victor Atta was reading out at the Lagos colloquium of Ben Wabeze that did the writing. 75, that was the first task Murtala Mohammed gave out when he came. Using our own people for the benefits they got, because I know the ones that got bank chairmanship, Union Bank of the time, for doing that dirty task. Look at where we are today. Obasanjo did the finishing for them. Look at where we are today, because even the Constituent Assembly rejected the states that were created as basis of federate, as units to federate. In that 1977, they didn't want the retention of the states that Gowon created to fracture the four regions in circumstances that confiscated their assets into the hands of that illicit federal government that emerged. And so we are now unraveling all these things through and through in the lock, in the divine intervention of them putting our signature on the totality of these atrocities that took so long to put together. Because they combined what the British had gotten for them with what they got from the war, with all of what they added in between those 33 years that they have claimed immunity under Section 6, subsection 6C of that Constitution. If anything happens to that Constitution today, if anything happens to that Constitution like it is already happening, the collapse of that Section 6, subsection 6D, immediately puts the class of 66, all those generals that killed all these people, that seized all the economic assets of everybody in the name of one concession or the other, oil block or port concession, and all kinds of things in between, that has brought this level of poverty that is ravaging Nigeria. Some are digging gold. Guzo and Co., National Security Advisor. All these things you see happening in Zamfara. They shared everything among themselves in consequence of their victory from the war. Well, everybody cooperated with them, thinking it's only the Igbo that will lose. But they knew where they were going. They used everybody to put down who they can put down, eventually turning around to the people that did the work for them. Where's Gowon today? What's happened to the Beron people? Where's David Mark today? David Mark was the chairman of the task force who threw out the Igbo from their properties in Port Harcourt. Look at the Doma people today, being slaughtered like ram and chicken. But David Mark is a multi-billionaire, flying in private jet and flying helicopter to work. The story is the same across board. These people deliberately destroyed all of what held us together, set their own kinds of boundaries, and got our own people to do the finishing for them. Because the Constituent Assembly that rejected the 12 states that Murtala Mohammed had made 19, they said, no, let's go back to the regions by which we federated. We can moderate, but let it not be this kind of dismantling to take over the assets. The Constituent Assembly rejected the presidential system, that it will accumulate power in the manner we have seen. Constituent Assembly could not have touched land use decree that was imposed unilaterally. Constituent Assembly could not have approved the NYSC Act. That's another campaign that we're going to launch sooner than later. Let us finish with the urgent task. The NYSC decree of 1973, for those who have been proudly wearing their uniform of NYSC, you don't question anything. We had a problem that took us to war. War ended. Instead of going to solve the issues that are
Oh God, these videos, this video is unbelievable. Like you want to keep listening and listening and listening. Imagine if we had all this information all along. It would have been a game changer, hopefully. So I actually went past because it's like my heart is doing this. Like, really? So we have adults, we have PhD holders, we have professors, we have sand, we have Ndemo, we have everything, and we are being taken for a ride by elite.
It's crazy.
Hi, go ahead, my sister.
So as a recap, we've heard this in the video, but we'll give you, recap because we'll pull up the PowerPoint so that people say ignorante, ifunanya. So if your ear know the work, your eye go the work. If you know they hear the one where they talk for ear, you go read them. So that's why we pull up the PowerPoint, and almost everything is inside it. So that if you're looking at it, even if you are deaf, at least you are seeing. You can tell somebody, I better read this thing for me, waiting they talk, because you must hear them. So they're talking about hidden mechanisms that they put in place to hold indigenous peoples down. Because the problem is the resources in your land. They want it at all costs. So they need to tie you down everywhere, very well. Tie your leg, your hand, your head, everywhere, so you don't move, and they can be taken everywhere.
With the help of your brothers and sisters.
With the help of your brothers. They will call willing tools. So in the South, because the South put up resistance as we are coming, because they lie a lot, say, oh no, the people just, as if our people just waited for them to come and conquer them. No, our people fought hard. So in the South, they met strict resistance. And that's what made them to now decide to enforce colonialism by themselves. They use military. Direct rule, that's what they use in the southern part, because the southern people were smart, ready to fight them. So they knew it was war, that they will not just conquer the South anyhow like that. So they had to be in charge. So we told you there are 3 tools they use for this colonialism: ignorance, fear, and military terror. If ignorance no work, if fear no work, they will roll in the barrels. They will roll in the machines and get, like you see my sister telling us the story of what they did as Sochi. What is Sochi, right? Well, our people thought that they were even thinking that let them go and use their Egbentu. They didn't know these people came prepared. They blew them up, blew up everything that we're doing. So our people did not even understand the nature of the enemy. It's only now, thank God for Nina's research, that they had to even break into archives to get documents. Now we are beginning to understand the mindset of the enemies we are dealing with that are not here to play with us.
They are not.
So in the southern part, because of the strict resistance they met, they decided to administer the southern part of Nigeria themselves using military and ammunition, serious ones, powerful ones. But in the north, because already there's emirate system in the north, where the emir, the Fulani, the Caliphate conquered the Hausa nations, the Hausa peoples, the indigenous peoples. We call them Hausas, but we know there are many. Hausa is their lingua franca, but there are many indigenous peoples there. There are a lot of them. If you start calling their names, they're there and they know their lands. But Caliphate Fulani nation had already come in from 1804 to conquer them and put their emirates. That's why you hear emir of this, emir of that. That's not what they had before. So they put that in place. So the people were already subdued in the system called feudalism, where the emir owns the whole land. And
yeah, which is similar to British rule.
Exactly, similar to British. That's why we told that these criminal gangs, they are the same. Fulani is coming with emirates. Britain is coming with monarch system. So coming from the south, coming from the north, and they met, put hands together, went to Zungeru, handed over their baton, and said, okay, we have conquered them. Let's put the victory charter on them. So before the 1914 amalgamation, they used the enemies of the people to tie the people up. They were walking on the ground. Our people did not understand the enemy they were dealing with. So from the video or the audio that we played for you, which is in our platform, they penetrated our people, used some criminal elements. The people that, like in my own land, in Igbo land, we don't kill criminals. What we do, we excommunicate them, send them out, banish them to the evil forest. So, because we don't want to spill their blood. You see how sincere our people were. They banish them to evil forest just so that they don't pollute the state, the society. That's why they do that. So if you stay there and you then repent, because they're banishing you, just like what God did with Cain. When Cain killed his brother Abel, God banished him away from the society. And when we tell our people that what we practice is recorded in the Bible, our culture as Ndibo is recorded in this Bible you're carrying. If you don't know the culture, then it's like you don't know. If you know the culture and you have read the Bible, you will know that the Old Testament is record of the culture of Ndibo and some other indigenous peoples, because we're not the only ones, but you will know, you find out. So as we're saying, these people were banished to evil forest. So as the colonial masters and their missionaries and their agents, and they were coming in, they were the ones they met and used them and worked against the people. So before 1914, they had worked on the ground, and then 1914, they finished the amalgamation and did everything. So 1940 is now handing over. That's the amalgamation. They had tied everybody down. So they tied everybody down and passed us finally to the enemy. They confiscated our sovereignty without reference to the owners of the land. And that is what the politicians are still doing today. They are carrying on what the colonial monsters did. They go to Abuja, stay there. They don't send you. They don't send you. They die, you know they die, be their business. All they know to stay in Abuja, marry many women as much as they can, squander money and have fun. Have all the children littered everywhere. They are just replicating what the colonial monsters did. That's what we call it neo-colonialism. Because now we have internal colonizers.
Yep.
Internal colonizers. When we thought we were having independence, we didn't have independence. Got external colonizers handed over to internal colonizers. That's why it's called neo-colonialism. Because each time we say, oh, colonialism, people will say, oh, but the white man is not here. Is it the white man that is doing it to you? The white man has gone. It's your own people doing it. It's the same project. They just camouflaged it, removed their hands, and selected these criminals and handed us over to them and put their constitution on top of us. The constitution that is worse than apartheid constitution.
Mm-hmm. Create many avenues for them to continue the work.
Exactly. So when we now look, we say, the white man is not here. Some people that are shallow in their thinking. The white man is not here. Why are you calling the white man?
They will welcome them when they come to Abuja.
Yes.
People that colonized you, that enslaved you. You welcome them and be singing glorified song for them when they show up in Abuja.
Yes.
Come on, you guys, man.
Your gods have come. That's what we told you people. Colonialism is not over. That's why they keep coming. When they give birth to children, they will marry. Their children will come and examine the farmland that their forefathers got for them.
Hey.
Colonialism is not over. And you see your so-called leaders tying their hair like ogri. And laughing like goats. They send them in. Ndibo, listen now. They brought them in because they know the work we are doing, the work of advocacy and enlightenment that we are doing. So from time to time, they will come in. So to show you that they are with you. No,
to do their litmus test to see if you guys are still in sync.
They're not coming for you. They're coming for solidarity, to show solidarity to the puppets they put in place. They're not coming for you. That's why you see Ndibo listen. They visited the north. The three partners. They visited the north, visited the southwest. Did they visit east? No.
Even if they did, even if they do visit.
No. It was to understand they won't. They won't visit east because you are conquered. You are conquered through Biafra. Your land is a conquered territory. Nigeria is conquered, but your own is conquered ×2 because you're in a Nyensobu. Your trouble is too much, so they have to tie you more. And I'm saying this, and I don't know how I want to shout with my hand on my head. This so-called Hanese or whatever Igbo development, whatever they call themselves, these people that you call elders, listen to me. Listen to the daughters of the land. These people came in, visited them in the north, visited in south, and invited you to come and meet them in Lagos. And you went there to name them Ifoma. Who do you think you're brainwashing? Who do you think you're brainwashing? Who do you think you're brainwashing? I asked you how many times. Who do you think you're brainwashing? You elders of Ndibo. What will happen to you? Continue what you're doing. Continue what you're doing. Our people are waking up. They are beginning to understand what is going on. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. What's happened, Anyun? What's happened, Anyun? Be careful. Be careful what you're doing to Ndibo. Be careful what you're doing to Ndibo. Be careful. What's happened, Anyun? They confiscated our sovereignty without reference to the owners of the land because they do not matter. You are illiterate. You're native. Who are you? You'll be hobnobbing with Emeka Anyoko, Okonji Iweala. The people that
agents that was sent to hold you down, and you guys are there acknowledging all of them in 2024. This is not 1924. 2024.
You don't matter. You are the owner of the land, but you don't matter. They discuss with the puppets they put over you, and you're laughing. That's on social media. Rather than mourning, you should be wearing black cloth. Get ashes, pour on your head, and mourn. Every Igbo person should be mourning. All the Nigerians extended to you, you should all be mourning because your children are being destroyed. You should not be laughing. You should not be on social media doing anything. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be mourning. They put all these meeting mechanisms to control and hold the indigenous peoples down. You can see the semi-literate Muritala Muhammad in 1975, because we're giving you these hidden mechanisms, things that you can go and verify. 1975, they gave him instruction. Britain gave him instruction, and he came and gave that instruction to a poor university teacher, Ben Nwabweze. Yes, he was poor then, because you have to be poor to be selling your people off. They gave him the instruction to write a unitary constitution that will take everything from his own people and hand it over to the white people. He said he thought they were trying to unite Nigeria. You thought wrong. And you call yourself a lawyer. You could not examine the instructions. You could not go and meet your elders and say, please, see what they gave me to write. This thing, are we trying to tear our people down? What does it mean? No, you went ahead for a handsome reward. And then when they finished, they gave you Union Bank or whatever, dash it to you. Then your children are benefiting from it. If your father was Ben Nwabweze, you better come and begin to undo what your father did. The proceed you're enjoying is proceed of blood. Your father sold our people. And all that money that people are enjoying is blood money. And when an Igbo will stand, you will pay for it.
Amen.
God ask me well. God ask me well how far. These are the people they used to play front in Alo Bank, your owning bank. Meanwhile, the bank is to steal the resources from the people. And you are managing it for them. When they finish, they will eliminate you. Listen now and listen good. Because of what you will gain, you sell our people. Go to China, see what they do to people that sell them. Because we are here doing church, because they use church to brainwash all of us. In 1979, after Muritala, some young people have sent Muritala to go and meet his God and have a conversation with him. 1979, Obasanjo took over from what his boss, Muritala, started.
Sure.
And introduced 17 amendments to the finished work of Constituent Assembly, the Indiobodo, the owners of the land. They said this is how we want to relate. We want true federalism, where each person will develop at their own pace. We don't want to confiscate our people. We don't want to tie everybody down under one envelope, so that someone that wants to run 120, the other one wants to run 20. All of us, they recognized the diversity in the area. They recognized our different worldviews. They recognized our entity, our culture, our language, that everything different. And they said, what will work for us is true federalism. They went and did their constitutions and then brought everything together. 1979. Obasanjo single-handedly introduced 17 amendments that tied our people. That Obasanjo that you're celebrating. Now, the eastern and southern petroleum resources are held in stronghold with the help of the 1999 Constitution, which is a newer edition of 1979 Constitution. There's no difference. This is the tool of control and domination. They are being exploited on a daily basis while the people are in abject poverty. So you saw the youths, your youths, that came out this week as they were celebrating in the memory of Isaac Boro, because Isaac Boro was the first young man that said, my people have to be free. Of course, they eliminated him. They always use one set of indigenous people to eliminate another set of indigenous people, use the other one to eliminate the other one. See, that's the game they've been playing. But thank God for Ninas. We are now working hand in hand. The colonial masters didn't think that would happen. They thought we will continue to fight. No, we are no more fighting. That's why we say, stop fighting one another. This is not fight. We have a common enemy. Why are we fighting? So Ninas is bringing all of us together to understand that I'm an Igbo woman. I don't have any problem with an Ijaw person. I don't have any problem with the Yoruba people. I don't have any problem with Hausa people. We all have our lands. We just need to collaborate and work together, because that's how the enemy is working. The enemy, they collaborate. 1884, 1885, what we call Berlin Conference. That's them forming alliance. That's the criminals forming alliance and balkanizing all of us. So why can't we work together? So that's why as Ninas, we came together to work hand in hand, because we need to collaborate. Though we are different, but we can collaborate. Mutual respect, mutual love, and everybody will be comfortable. No matter your size, no matter the size of your land, no matter the size of your population, we can collaborate. We don't need to dominate over anyone. That's why we said that 1999 Constitution, which is the tool for domination and control of all the ethnic nationalities, must go down, because we did not make it. It's a colonial tool and it's going down. We'll show you some of these enemies that we're talking about. Because when you understand the enemies, you understand the mechanism they are operating, because we are talking about hidden mechanisms that they put to control the indigenous people. The people have to, you have different people leading those mechanisms. So when they put the one mechanism, they get somebody in charge of it. So we're going to give you examples of these people that we are operating these hidden mechanisms for them. Those writing draft constitutions for the colonial monsters. Yes, the Ben Nwabweze. The other Uncle Ben that is in I wonder why they keep answering Benjamin. Well, does he have anything to do?
No, I'm Dutch, and I had the colonial masters now.
Yeah, but why is he Ben Nwabweze already the first one. There's this Ben that is in the National Assembly. He's saying you give us you give them constitution in 1 month, I'll be in 1 year.
The one, the Anyoko guy.
No, Anyoko. There's another guy now that said in National Assembly that he was going to give a constitution, a new constitution in one year. I've forgotten his last name. They don't answering Ben. I'm a Neji Ben. We're going to hug. Very soon we'll stop naming our children Ben, because we don't know what is going on. So these people, we're talking of hidden mechanisms and the people operating it. Those writing draft constitutions, because if you went to law school, I'm sure some of you didn't go. These lawyers, when they went to law school, they were under Ukumangoro, under the mango tree, chasing women. So they didn't attend classes, because the first class of jurisprudence would have taught you that constitution is made by the constituent members of the nation.
Our brother is Benjamin Kalu.
Okay, Benjamin Kalu. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, they were as a Benjamin Nwabweze, one Benjamin Kalu. From Igbo people. Where are you getting all these evil sons from? Are they ignorant or wicked? Which one is worrying them? Please take them into the house and go and cancel them. So anyone that is coming to write draft constitution without reference to the owners of the land
is a criminal.
Is a criminal and is operating hidden mechanism of the colonial monsters. Go and tell them. Number 2, criminal. Dumb journalists who have refused to do proper investigative journalism. But are on the side of those that are killing the people. They've refused to be with their people. They do, I don't know. Ndiotu, where is that man? Ruben Obati. What's that man answering? Obati.
You can ask me people's name.
What's his name? Please write for us. That man Abati or whatever he calls himself. I look at him and say, why is it that even when people are huge, like the brain cell they have is very small. It's not functioning properly. And he calls himself a journalist. All those people on Arise TV, they will be there entertaining themselves. They will never discuss the thing that the people meaningful. And these people are educated. Some are even educated in foreign land. Of course, we know now they're brainwashed. That's the system of education they have. In the name of brown envelope. So they give you brown envelope. Instead of you to be with the people, you're against the people because you want to do shine fine. Okay, Ruben Abati, thank you, my brother. Please go and tell him, share this thing with him. Tell him that we are seeing his fake journalism, his brain. And the thing about this is that these things are recorded. Your children and grandchildren will see what you're saying. In the time where people are dying and need to be set free, you're asking stupid questions in the name of journalism. You even have brain? Dumb journalists. Another set, the multi-billionaires are trading with the lives and blood of their people. People like David Mark from Middle Belt. Your people are poor and being massacred. But the enemy used you and paid you off. Now you're a billionaire. And you know, if initially I was asking myself, how is it that the billionaires in Nigeria are not smart?
Not helping.
No, they're not smart. Like discussing when once in a while you discuss and then sometimes you see them on interview when they're talking, they sound stupid.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, so how did they make this money? So are they not even just out of touch? They can't critically think. They are not able to reason properly because their money, they didn't make it with their brain. They sold their people and they were given the money. That's how they became multi-billionaires. That's why I don't celebrate any multi-billionaire anything. I don't, not in Nigeria. How are you multi-billionaire where every other person is very poor? It doesn't mean that your brain, they manufactured it from heaven. Your own brain is different. And you're so intelligent that it's only you that can make money. Your neighbors are poor, and you're happy with your life. We're talking about the enemies. Our own people who are still holding us down, holding our assets, holding our ancestral lands, holding our resources under the yoke of 1999 Constitution because of their personal ambitions. People like Peter Obi. Peter Obi will sell even his or something to make sure he gets to that presidency. He's ready to sell everyone. He's selling Ndibo. He will wrap Ndibo Nine. Sell over to Caliphate and Britain. And he has finalized it. And with the help of your sons and your daughters. So anyone swearing to uphold and keep the 1999 Constitution is enemy number one. No matter at the level, local government to state, whatever they are the ones holding the chains of the enemy on the people. Of course, our traditional governance structure is already destroyed. So when you hear Igwe, Oba, this one, all these current things you have that are paying them money, monthly salary, why are they giving them money now? Because they are giving them money so that they will become enemy of their people. They are being paid to spy their own people and report direct to Britain and report to Abuja. Anything. They tell you, yes, I'll call that one. Why are you having direct access to Britain and Abuja? Because you're being paid to spy on your people. They are no more on the side of the people. They defend the colonial unitary Nigeria, not the indigenous peoples. And they're supposed to be the custodians of our culture. But they are not. Because all these people, find out how they got into this space. They were imposed on the people. So that's what we're saying. We're mentioning these things for you so that you're listening to us, you will go and see. Don't ask them question direct. We have some youths that are already going. One partner went to ask this Eze or whatever. Ask him, do you know this? They say, we don't know. We did this. I say, okay, why are you supporting what you don't know? So you need to go and meet them. That's why we're here. We're not saying you should go and cause mayhem. No. Go, send delegates to them. Ask them, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you selling us? Why are you doing this? Have you not heard of Nina's? Have you not heard of 1999 consider that it needs to go down, that we did not make it? Go and ask them questions. Let them answer you directly. Because the land belongs to you. Everything is yours. Why are you suffering? Why are you and your children not able to eat? Ifechi Ezonyekwelu, he said P2B idiots, and his zombie followers are called zombie idiots.
I could have come up with that one. That is interesting.
Interesting. Have you shared this show? Please do not watch alone. Help others. Open the eyes of our people. Open the minds of our people. Subscribe. Hit love and like. We can do this job. We are able to do it. Others have done it. We can do it. Let me leave my sister to continue. Thank you.
All right, so we are going to continue with the video. Like she said, continue to help us to share. We are making headway. I promise you, we are making headway. Do not feel discouraged, not by the numbers, not by anything. Our people are asking the right questions. And we are extremely grateful for those that are engaged. And we're waiting for our brothers and sisters to rise up, because we know once you guys get up, it's over. It's over for the enemy. So mind you, these people have been doing the same thing. The same way they will use our brothers and sisters as Kotuma over us, for lack of a better word, warrant chiefs. That's the same way they use rappers here in America to kill African American brothers and sisters.
Yes.
So Apple will pay them to sing songs about destroying their own communities and, you know, on life in their brothers and sisters, and they will be rewarded handsomely. You know, so it's the same people doing the same thing. You know, their children are continuing in their legacy. They are not hiding at all. It's up to us to understand what is doing us, so that we can identify the enemies and be, you know, be through with it. Oh my goodness, that's not what I want to do.
Please continue to hit the like buttons so that we'll counter the algorithm. We need to stop spreading the falsehoods manufactured in England. They're telling you that these things were manufactured. Don't spread them. Don't spread what they manufactured against you and your people. Get the truth. That's why we come here, for you to get the truth. Go ahead, please, my sister. Thank you.
Congress Assembly could not have approved the NYSC Act. That's another campaign that we're going to launch sooner than later. Let us finish with the urgent task. The NYSC decree of 1973. For those who have been proudly wearing their uniform of NYSC, you don't question anything. We had a problem that took us to war. War ended. Instead of going to solve the issues that are still unresolved to this date, these same issues we are raising today were the things that took us to war in 1967. How do we live together? Was that not the issue that they went to Aburi and agreed, and then they came back and go on and go abandoned it at the direction of the British and began to kill people, to lock everybody down to what we have seen now? Now, instead of going to solve that problem, you now set up a scheme in which you took young people who may not have been politically conscious when the trouble began, to say, let the young people mix up. The children of the north will come to the south and see their country. The children of the south will go to the north and see their country. And as they mix up, they will understand themselves better, and it will be El Dorado thereafter. That's the front. That's the front screen. At the back end, the NYSC was a scheme by which the children of Sokoto, the children of Kano, the children of Maiduguri were sent to go and serve in Lagos in Port Harcourt, in Warri, where they will be retained after the service year in NNPC, in MPA, in Central Bank, and all such institutions. Whereas the children of Lagos, the children of Ibadan, the children of Warri, the children of Enugu, the children of Port Harcourt are sent to go and perish in Kaura Namoda, in Gashua, in Birnin Kebbi, wherever. And you get there, there's no prospect of any kind of job. You are taken to rural places to go to teach. 90% of the bureaucracy of how Nigeria is being managed, whether you went to NNPC or you went to Central Bank or you went to any of all these other places, the recruitment process was in that standing instruction of retain them when they come to serve in your place in Port Harcourt, and then they put it in that constitution. NYSC is in a part of the constitution that requires 4/5 majority. That is Land Use Act, NYSC Act. What was Land Use Decree? They called it Act when they imposed the constitution later. What was the NYSC? What was the Land Use Decree? The land ownership system in the north was one in which the emir owned everything, and gave only those he chose. If he didn't give you, he didn't get. In the south, it was different. Lands belonged to individuals and on some occasion communities. And so if you worked hard, you got the quantity. Your family could inherit so much, you could buy so much, but all amongst right to private property. The north, this same caliphate, targeting the lands of the south and everybody else in the middle belt, decided to bring the land use decree in which government became the owner of all the lands. In that military era, the governors who were now to be holding, the governors were appointed, governor of your state could come from Kebbi, the governor of Imo could come from Zamfara, and all of that. So these generals, these genocide generals you see that are still hanging around like demons today, they took the choicest lands all across the length and breadth of Nigeria under that land use decree, which they then smuggled into that constitution by the instrumentality of Obasanjo that introduced 17 amendments after the Constituent Assembly had submitted its clean copy. 17 amendments. One such amendment is to restore for the caliphate the states that the Constituent Assembly rejected as federating units instead of the regions. That was how we lost all our economic assets. For the liars and charlatans that are spreading the story of how Ironsi did the Ironsi decree number 34 did not touch the structure of the Federation of Nigeria. Anybody from the South and Middle Belt who has education and who is spreading that falsehood that was crafted in Britain and nurtured in Sokoto will labor under the curse, because Ironsi had been killed on the 29th of July in 1966. Almost 1 year to the time on the 27th of May in 1967, when Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon did the bidding of his masters in the attempt to stop the East from declaring Biafra in 3 days from that point. That was the first time the 4 regions structure of the Federation of Nigeria was tampered with. 27th of May, 1967. Ironsi only formed an administration, that's some kind of governance by the military, because the federal government had been decapitated. 2 of the regional governments have been, everything was in disarray, have been decapitated by those. The people that staged the coup did not get to power. Nzongo and Co didn't get to power, they were stopped. Ironsi only happened to be the most senior military officer. He had to be the head, he was the head of the army. It fell on him to rally people back to some kind of so the governors were appointed for the 4 regions. That will tell you that the regions were still intact. Usman Katsina for the north, killed later for the west, Ojukwu in the east, Ejo in the Midwest. These four military administrators sitting with the head of the army became the Supreme Military Council. Of course, they had the head of police and two other service chiefs joining them. That was what the Supreme Military Council was all about. That was the only governance. The parliament could not be functioning in the period where there's no government of civil rule. So they took over the functions of the parliament in that emergency to stabilize, to stop the killings and stabilize things. 6 months down the road, people who read their own meanings to say, oh, it was Igbo coup. Nigeria is dying today because Nigeria was trying to kill the Igbo on account of various falsehoods manufactured in England. You saw the German that was telling the story of what transpired. These things are falsehoods, and people with education from the south, because they think that once Igbo is killed, their life will be better. Look at what is happening all over the place. Just back 50 years. In all these places where people are being slaughtered, look back through the years and see why people are being slaughtered in the various places that are being slaughtered today. If not for the lunatic that came to restore Biafra in the air, in the east, the east wouldn't have been, wouldn't have been at the receiving end of Nigeria, but for the madmen that said they want to restore the Biafra that has no boundary. At a time where we are putting the monster that is holding them down to death. They sabotaged that effort, and they went about killing our own people because they want to make money from dying people. So, where we are now, just to tell you that the people we are dealing with know what they are doing, but our own people refuse to know. It was that thing that Harcourt, that betrothal that Harcourt was talking about, that was what Ahmadu Bello was celebrating in 1960. At the time, the British will now leave. Handing us over, we had been betrothed to them in 1914. The one that did the betrothal is going. Ahmadu Bello was now the one to receive the full control of all of us from them. And that was what he was celebrating when he told his lieutenants in the first week of independence in 1960 that the new nation called Nigeria should be an asset of their great-grandfather Usman Dan Fodio, and that they must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. They use the minorities of the north as willing tools and the south as a conquered territory. Never allow them to allow us to rule over them, and never allow us to have control over our own future. These are the things that he was telling them. He was as a premier of northern Nigeria, Sir Ahmadu Bello, celebrating the grand bequest by the British Crown. That grand bequest is that 1913 explanation that we were now, as the South, we were now being handed over to the North as we were described as Southern Lady of Means.
All right, we'll stop this video here to give a recap. I mean, this whole thing makes so much sense now. You know, we used to read this Usman Dan Fodio estate for you guys, not even knowing all the background information. We know that he has a lot of confidence. You can see somebody was backing him. You can see that he was in charge. For him to be put on a radio to broadcast to all of our people, you can see they have had their own meetings, discuss what they wanted to discuss, and they wanted to test him and see if he has the gut to say to do what he said he would do. That's what this is all about. And our people are still not getting it in 2024. That when you look at that background information that you were handed over as a little child, Our brother did a wonderful job in explaining that to us. You get a little child, you have a friend that maybe have done some good things for you. You know, you guys are business partners. You, oh yeah, you will marry my daughter one day. Here is the child. That's exactly what they did to you, me, and everybody else. Not just in Africa, even here in America, they are still holding people hostage in the name of, we live in the land of free. How can you live in the land of free when you are giving money to sing songs about destroying your own people, destroying your own neighborhood? We must stop spreading falsehood manufactured in England. That falsehood is still alive and well. In 2024, they had the audacity to come and check to see if their subjects are still in check. That's what that visit is all about. Nobody likes you. They wanted to make sure that the Nollywood people, the Ivy League students, graduates, the ones that are running the IMF and the World Bank and them, that they're still under their stronghold.
Yes.
That's all they came to check. And you guys checked all the marks. Check. Oh, yeah, the slaves are still working in the slave camp. Oh, yes, we got them. They are still intact. Yes, we are doing good. Shame on you guys.
And give them solidarity. Give solidarity visits to their puppets. We are with you. Keep enslaving your people. Yes, we'll come and wear necklace and answer your name.
Hey, Wonka, who did this voodoo? The only thing that's spreading falsehood that is manufactured in England, we will always lead to constant massacre and slaughter of our people. Because you guys don't want to listen. You're stuck in the churches pretending like you're the child of God when everything that you guys are doing are against God. Ninas is on the table talking about freedom for every indigenous peoples. And people are not getting it. But you naga church Monday through Sunday. Carrying your cross on your chest. But you don't want the same for another human being.
So these are all falsehoods that they manufactured in England. If you go to church more and more, pray, stay awake, do night vigil, then all of a sudden you will get wealth. Your life will become okay. It's been manufactured to keep you down. So you helping them to maintain that structure, that falsehood that was created, that the more you pray, the more you fast, the more you do night vigil, then your success will come. It's falsehood manufactured in Europe by the colonizers. They package them. Why they are creating jobs, building factories with your resources, and creating jobs for their children, and their children are doing well. They create a falsehood for you that if you stay in church where your mega pastor is watching you, that you continue to shout in the night, then one day money will enter your account. And you are helping to spread that falsehood and dying in it. You need to stop. You need to stop. Yes, you need to stop. The white man is colonizing you. But you are spreading the concussion. Or if you go to NYSC, then you will become one. You are not one. You're not meant to be one. God created you to be different. You're diverse. You can collaborate, but not become one.
Do you know that these people are so wicked that they transported this brainwashing church to diaspora where we are?
Yes.
So they can hold us hostage too, because they know white people are not going to come to our church.
No.
The other ethnicity is not going to go. It's going to be us, those African mad people that left their country. So they allow them to transport the same church there so that you and your mother, even when you're outside the space,
they are following you.
Continue to be brainwashed.
So make sure the brainwash is complete. You have run out of the land.
Hey!
They made uninhabitable for you. As you are running, they follow you with their fake Christianity.
So that you will not practice what you've learned in England about freedom of your people.
Exactly.
You will continue with the brainwashing.
Exactly. So that it can be complete. You will never be free. Rather, you will be doing party while your people are dying.
Hey, whoa.
They will do crusade for you. They will bring you out in the night, teaching you about Jesus that came for liberation. But they will not support Ninas so that you can have that liberation. Who is fooling who? Stop spreading the falsehood manufactured in England. You need to stop. You need to stop. Because it's leading to the massacre of the people. You need to seek truth. On every matter, there is a purpose. For everything God has created on earth, for anything God said we should do, there's a purpose. Ask yourself, what the purpose? The church you're going. People in Aba, you open shop, pray from morning till 10, thinking that is that prayer you're praying that will bring customers and that make you to sell. Stop spreading falsehood. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's not how things are done. Our ancestors did not do things that way. Our ancestors got discovered that if you eat bitter leaf, it's food, but you have to wash it. Our ancestors got discovered Ozuza, Otazi. All these things they discovered. That is science. That is nutrition. Everything, they had it. It was not called in English, but they did not get it by being stupid and allowing the colonial masters to brainwash them. That's not how they got it. They had their own spirituality. You inherited it. That is your heritage. Go back to it. Stop spreading the falsehood that they created. They told you that May 27, 1967, 4 regions structured, they structured it. What did they do in May 27? They balkanized it into states. Just like 1984-85, the balkanization of Africa. Anyone saying otherwise is the enemy of the indigenous people. That is balkanization. The states they created is balkanization. May 27, 1967, they fractured the 4 regions, 4 independent regions that you had. Balkanized it into states. Anybody telling you that you're going to those states will become prosperous tomorrow is lying. That is them taking away your sovereignty. It is not promoting development. Those fake leaking baskets called states will never give you what you're seeking for. If you are spreading it, if you are supporting it, you are not doing yourself well. So Ironsi did not destroy the true federation that we had. It is the enemy that destroyed the true federation by balkanizing the 4 regions on May 27, 1967 into 12 states. Gowon was in charge, leading that balkanization. If you're saying otherwise, it is falsehood that you're spreading. And this falsehood you're spreading will not help you to get to light so that your people can be free. Those who abandoned Aburi Accord, they are the ones that committed genocide. Because the Aburi Accord was supposed to take us to confederation. What happened? They abandoned it. Instead, they set up NYSC, like you heard our brother say in the show. And that NYSC, we told you, that scheme is monkey they walk, baboon they chop. It is not for your development. It is not for anything, unity or anything. No. It's so that your own children that are hardworking will go in wrong places. And those ones, the puppets that they want, they will put in certain place. So that you have a system, a mediocre system, a system of monkey they walk, baboon they chop. They do not mean well for our people. These are agents of Britain. Stop spreading their falsehood. Seek truth on everything that they have done in that country. Do not spread what they are spreading. Go to the back end to see the reason, the real reason why they did, so that you will not be spreading these things that they created in England without knowing. The flag independence of 1960 was Britain, the external colonizers, handing over the indigenous peoples of the Alliance territory, that's the Southern Lady of Means, to the poor husband, the Caliphate North. We heard it in the audio. We are only recapping for you. It is Britain. Lie. It is a lie from Britain that colonization ended 1960. It did not end. That's why we call it neo-colonization. What you had 1960 was flag independence, not end of colonization. They just remove one uniform, put another one. Just like you saw PDP and APC. They will remove the uniform of PDP, wear uniform of APC. They are the same criminals. From APC, PDP, they will remove uniform and wear Labour Party and move. It's the same criminals moving from one point to the other. So colonization has not ended. They only handed over. The external colonizers handed over to internal colonizers. So we're explaining to you that that's what the premier of northern Nigeria, so-called Sir Ahmadu Bello, the internal colonizer, was speaking of in the Battle of 1960 script that my sister will soon pull up for us. So that's what they were talking about. They received full control of all the indigenous peoples in that geographical space. I'll allow my sister to continue.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, there's a way you handle this section that, so please just go ahead.
Go ahead. Yes, I'm trying to pull something up.
Okay, so we in the video, in the audio, you heard our brother mention this battle script that we told you about. He said what he repeated, what the so-called Sir Ahmadu Bello, I don't even know why they put Sir. It's all these British people giving them all the titles. He says Nigeria, the new nation called Nigeria, should be an estate of our great-grandfather, Usman Dan Fodio. If you've not, like, Google Usman Dan Fodio. Google it. Google Ottoman Empire. Check Middle East. Check all over to see what is going on so that certain things will be making sense to you. For those that are just talking what they don't understand. He said that this country called Nigeria is the estate of their great-grandfather, Usman Dan Fodio. He said, you must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. Ruthlessly. That means it's not just talking to you. They will pie you, remove your head. If you say any other thing, if you want to do it, they'll remove your head. And we have seen it happen. We saw how they dealt with Awolowo. We saw how they dealt with Abiola. We saw how they deal with all these people. Either they come physically or they'll give you tea. If you want to do otherwise, they will send their secretary to give you tea. You drink and go and visit your people. So they know. They say we will use the minorities of the North as willing tools. The minorities of North are talking about the people in the present-day Middle Belt as willing tools, and the South as a conquered territory. That's what we say, that we are all conquered. And never allow them to rule over us, and never allow them to have control over their future. This is what somebody broadcasted, not hidden. He said it loud. This is Fulani conquest agenda. And we can see it living out. We can see it every day. We have been conquered, people. 1999 Constitution is the tool used to conquer everyone. Nigerians should have heeded Nina's warnings that Fulani were coming for them and their lands. And even now, to prevent more killings by the immigrant settler Fulani for land grabbing, turn to Nina's plan. There is a plan. There's a solution on the table. That is Nina's template. And we are thanking God, and we're thanking, people that Nigerian Christian Elders Forum. We see the Joy Youths. This is what we want all of you to be doing, to say, this is what we want. This is what we want. That is building consensus. As you are doing that, it's promoting what we're doing, and the noise will take over the whole discussion. And people like Ruben Abati, practicing brown journalism, we have no choice than discuss what we are saying. We will put the menu on the table. We'll put the agenda on the table. They will not have choice. You are the one sharing their message now. Power belongs to the people. You just don't understand your power yet. So the indigenous ethnic nations have sovereignty, not Fulani, not Caliphate, not Britain, and not the traitor political class or their church leaders, friends, who uphold the 1999 Constitution. These are enabling the Fulani conquest agenda. But you know what? You, the people, are the ones watching them do it. They are swallowing you, and you're watching them do it. Continue to share, like, and subscribe, because this information must get to the people. We need to stop spreading falsehoods manufactured in England. Those calling our people into the streets, like they're doing NSAS. Oh, if we now come out and do NSAS, then we get better life. That's a lie. They will buy you. You are doing NSAS without any strategy on how to dismantle the 1999 constitution that is creating the NSAS, that we're creating the SARS, creating all the institutions that is killing you, making the people to act and destroy you. These people are lying to you. They are endangering you. Anybody telling you to come out to protest for one stupid thing or the other, Labour will call for increase, a labor increase. My sister said terrorist Ahmadu Bello. Yes, it's better to call it terrorist Ahmadu Bello. So these people calling you to come out and protest for one stupid thing or the other, they are spreading falsehood, because the falsehood is that the more you protest for the wrong thing, one day the wrong thing will not become right. No. The only enemy you have is 1999 Constitution. Every other thing was created and is being maintained by 1999 Constitution. Pull down that, decommission it. And this week, the Nigerian National Christians Elders Forum, sorry, I keep missing up their names. They are now doing prayers conference. We started yesterday, Friday. We'll continue to Sunday. Tomorrow is Dinner's Day for that event. We have shared it. Go and join them, because they are talking about decommissioning 1999 Constitution. That's what everybody will be saying by now. But if you're not saying that and saying another thing, you're spreading the distraction from England, the falsehood sent from England to distract you, so that you leave the important things and be talking things that do not make sense. Agents or politicians trying to smuggle 2014 conference reports is as the decision, okay, trying to smuggle in 2014 conference report as the decision of the people of Nigeria are British agents. That thing they manufactured, that 2014 report, is not the people's report. It's not the people's wish. It's falsehood, fabricated, cooked, brought in from England, championed by Emeka Anyoko and the lawyer that calls himself Zokome, all the time. These are falsehood. Don't spread. Don't be part of it. Don't be with them. Don't join them to spread the falsehood. It is not true. Those who confiscated our lands and shared them among themselves, e.g. Otafam, are enemies of the people. They are not statesmen, as the West will want you to believe. So stop calling them statesmen. They are not your statesmen. The people that stole your land and took your resources, or Obasanjo, they are not your statesmen. Stop promoting them. Stop spreading them as your statesmen. That means you're spreading the falsehood cooked up in England. We're talking about falsehoods. We told you the hidden mechanisms. We're not telling you the falsehood that they cooked in England, manufactured it and brought it here. And you are the one helping them to spread it. Stop.
I know. Calling
political parties. Yeah, political parties organizing elections under 1999 Constitution are liars and people's enemy. Stop believing them that one day, if they will continue to do election under 1999 Constitution, then you have freedom. That's a lie cooked up in the pit of hellfire called Britain. Lawyers pretending that slaves, Nigerians, are citizens. No, you are not. They are spreading falsehood from England. There's no day that all of a sudden a slave will now wake up and now become citizen. So any lawyer that is telling you that you are a citizen of Nigeria, you are spreading falsehood cooked up in Britain. Stop it. Nigeria, as currently constituted, is a pack of lies, pile of lies. Anyone promoting it is an enemy and a liar, including church leaders who are still promoting and praying for Nigeria. God cannot bless such a lie. So anybody saying God bless Nigeria is spreading falsehood manufactured in England. God cannot bless lie. God cannot bless something that was put in place against his people. Yes, against his people. Anyone saying that, come, let's pray for Nigeria. No, you are praying for the people of Nigeria. Peoples of Nigeria, not for Nigeria. That entity created by Britain, manufactured in England, you should not be praying for it. It is the case of slavery. You will be praying against it, not praying for it. The peoples, the owners of the land, are the ones that will walk towards their freedom by understanding what we are teaching. Advocacy and enlightenment is what we are promoting. Don't carry any gun, carry any machete, because there's no need. The land belongs to you. You are living in your land. You just need to drive the people that are on your land using 1999 Constitution. It's as simple as that. Have you learned anything today? Have you learned anything new today? Write it in the comments and spread to your family members. I'll allow us to play the last part of this video. Please bear with us. We are extending time, but it's because we want to just finish this video in this session. Thank you.
You don't want to, because it's 27 minutes left.
Oh, so do we break it and come back next week?
Yeah, let's break it. It's almost 1:30.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us today as usual. Like, have you learned anything new today? Please put that down in the comment. And these are the things that we need to do to send this information. Make sure that our people get this. Those who rejected their treasures, okay, someone is still writing. That our people get this message. You know, we are making waves. This is the only way to undo the evil that these people they didn't painstakingly, should I say painstakingly foisted upon us. That we are going to painstakingly take it down.
Yes.
One day at a time. One day at a time. And the day this thing will begin to come together as a puzzle in all of our brains, man, this party is over. You will never welcome any prince or princess that come to check the subject to see how they do. You will never be part of that. Whether you're a celebrity in the mall or you're a World Bank manager or whatever, you will never partake in anything like that. So until next week, brothers and sisters, this video again here is a link. This video to me should be the Bible of the year for our freedom. I'm not saying that you shouldn't know your Bible, because a lot of you don't know your Bible. If we do, we wouldn't be at this mayhem. I don't even. But meanwhile, for us to solve the problem on the table, we need to listen to this video. When you're washing your car, cooking this weekend, please put on your earpiece so you can understand. You can understand. It's a game changer, if you ask me. It's a game changer for those of you that are confused, for those of you wanting to amend Constitution, for those of you wanting to pray for Nigeria, for those of you wanting to do all manner of things. That if you listen to this audio, so until next week, brothers and sisters.
Can you put the last section of this so that we'll just remind them of the meeting tomorrow as we close? That's where the National Prayer Altar. The theme is Nigeria, the dilemma and way out, decommissioning the 1999 Constitution. It started Friday 17th and it's going to end tomorrow, Sunday 19th. And it's 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. It's 1 hour 30 minutes. So our own Barrister Tony Nadi will be speaking tomorrow. Please be part of it so that you understand how edits are. I don't know. Thank you so much.
So the Zoom information is right there at the bottom of this page. If you have that, you should be able to log in. I don't know if I should type it. Let me just type it in the
comments.
In the comments, so it'll be easy for you to click 0505 passcode. Yeah, so that if you want to join tomorrow, you will use that and just input that information in the Zoom, and you will be part of the conversation.
Yes, please.
Zoom ID number 96806190505 passcode
024184
024184. What time again?
9 p.m. Nigerian time, yeah. 9 to 10:30 p.m. Please.
Nigerian time.
This thing is making sense. You are the one that will push the conversation to the table, not Ruben Abati. Ruben Abati is collecting brown envelope. His stomach is doing journalism for. But you, the people, we push them. You go to the comment section, you'll be typing what is ailing you. Make them to begin to discuss your matter. That's the only thing that is what being discussed. Nothing again.
Right. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Good seeing you. Don't worry, we will win this war. You see how those about women, the women that tie wrapper on the chest, undermine the British monsters and colonial terrorists. You can imagine with our education and internet how far we can go. Take care till next week.
Bye.